Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stardom and New Japan NJPW Puroresu review. Historic crossover 2, baby. Let's go. It's time to talk some crossing over. I am one of your co-hosts. I am 2/3 Andre C. And joining me here, as always, my tag team partner, one of the people I can't live without in this world, Princess Melball. How you doing, Melball?
I'm doing great, Andre. I just had the happy little accident notice that my nails match my wall.
That's actually funny.
That's actually a happy little accident. That works out nicely. Doing great, Andre. It's been an interesting week. We're getting ready for our show on Friday. We've had a lot of amazing wrestling to watch in the meantime with crossover. I watched that Noah show, the retirement show on Monday. Lots of great wrestling, lots of news we need to talk about in the Japanese wrestling update this week. Fun times to be a wrestling fan, I tell you, Andre. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Been having a good week so far. It's really cold outside, so doing my job, it's cold. I need to get long johns. I know that.
Relatable. I feel that.
But yeah, otherwise good week so far, and yeah, getting ready to have to gather the horde and go watch some CWE on Friday, and then I'm be on OLE on Saturday for the Full Gear post show. And on
Hmm.
Sunday, I'm going to hang out with our mutual friend Kat and a couple other friends and
Uh,
paint some stuff.
hmm
Yeah, it's
hmm
gonna be it's gonna be a good weekend. It's a good weekend,
Yay.
good weekend coming. So I'm happy.
Busy with stuff is always fun, right?
It very much is, and it's fun to be busy with stuff.
Yes, yes. I'm excited for Friday as well. It's gonna be
Me
fun.
too. Yeah, give me a great night of professional wrestling action if you want, and if you are in the Edmonton area or in any of the cities on the CWE tour throughout Western Canada, go to cwetickets.com and you can get your tickets for any of the shows that are left on this tour featuring Juventud Guerrera.
Hmm. Movie's been active too on his social. He's like posting like multiple things a day. It's crazy.
hmm I just dropped another just another ad for the show on my personal Facebook today. So yeah, I gotta push the show. It's gonna be a good show. But we're
Yes,
not here to
right.
talk. We're not here to talk CW. We're here to talk some Stardom and New Japan. But before we do that, I want to thank each and every one of you. If you are listening on A Plus Production, thank you so very, very much for tuning in on your podcast catcher of choice. And if you do want to hear us in audio form, aplusproductions.com. Click on that A Plus Wrestling feed and add us to your podcast catcher of choice, and you can join in the fun that way. And you can also join in the fun over at the A Plus Productions Facebook page, where you can just join in a lot of great chats over there. Also, and if you are watching on the YouTube, whether it's Andre Melrose Talk, whether it's Backbreaker Video, thank you so very, 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 very much. We really do appreciate you for joining us. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Please share us out. Tell your friends, family, and people that jump off of things onto other things. And don't forget to hit that
Yeah.
notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Woohoo!
Parkour. Parkour.
You say Hogwarts?
Parkour.
Oh, parkour. I thought you said Hogwarts.
He's not a wizard, Harry.
Oh my god. Well, let's chat about it. Let's get into it. Let's talk some historic crossover
Mm.
dose from New Japan and Stardom. Let's jump into it.
Hey.
Yeah, we kick it off with a pre-show tag team match. It's Aya Sakura and Aya Sakura from Cosmic Angels teaming up with Hanako from EXV, taking out Rana Yamagi from God's Eye and Sayaka Kurara from Cosmic Angels. So Cosmic Angels going to battle in here. Again, I thought a good little fun little opener here. You have Tom Fane, you have Walker Stewart, you have Chris Charlton, I think it's Tom Fane, and you have Xena, the special guest commentator. A four-person booth, which was awkward at times because the obvious leader of the booth was Walker Stewart.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
and
much
then
so. Yeah, I felt also Zane didn't talk enough to be the
no,
special commentator. There were times where she'd pipe up and I'd be like, no, there's a woman on commentary. Oh, right, it's Cena. I forgot she was there. She didn't really speak enough, and there were some times where it almost felt like she was insulted by commentary, either them forgetting things or not knowing things about her specifically, which kind of, I think, might have fed into that awkwardness you were mentioning.
yeah, like Tom had all his info, like, but again, he works
Mhm.
for Stardom. Walker, and again, I'm not going to fault Walker. I'm not going to fault him with great, but he should know the people he's working with, at least the history of the people he's working with. And the fact that, yeah, he probably did research on these ladies as much as he could for the people he's calling in the ring, but research the person you're
Mhm.
working with. Chris Charlton, man, come on, dude. You are the professor. You know everything. You wrote a book about the Tokyo Dome, dude. You're supposed to know all this stuff.
Come on now, come on now. As you said, I think Chris Charlton kind of stepped aside because usually he was kind of in charge between that lull period when Kevin Kelly had stopped doing commentary. So Walker was a very clear and obvious commentary leader in this.
Mhm.
So I think he was kind of letting him take the reins just to see how it would go. And I thought that Walker did a phenomenal job in keeping the at least chitter chatter banter going on.
Yeah, because in this match, there were some commentary issues early on in the match where Walker
Yeah,
threw to Tom, and then you just heard nothing, and then Walker comes back, not knowing there's nothing coming through. So it was really interesting, but they that was fixed before the end of the match. But
correct. Yes. They
yeah,
fixed it
again,
very quickly. Good
yeah, again,
job, New Japan production.
yeah, again, New Japan Stardom crossovering with their production here. I love the little accents of the showing the match title up at the top left, like they do for Stardom, and then all the entrance graphics were show the date of birth for all the New Japan guys too, which was kind of cool. I like seeing
Yeah.
that. I like seeing that. But yeah, again, I thought really good back and forth here.
Mhm.
Hanako really showing a lot of the power that she has throughout. Rana just firing some of those just solid ass kicks in this match. Hanako and Aya Sakura doing dual kicks at one point, or doing a dual kicks, or yeah, dual kicks to Kurara, who's on her knees. It was pretty. It was
Mhm.
pretty good.
Mhm.
Argentine backbreaker by Hanako. She places I think it was Carrara on the top rope, then hits a running boot to her while she's on the ropes. Then
Mhm.
lifts her off for the suplex, but Carrara slips out into a choke. Hanako ends up flipping her off and then picks her up and slamming her into the mat.
Mhm.
Um, the end of this
Mhm.
match comes Rana running with a leg lariat to Carrara, or to not, or with a leg lariat into and then to Hanako. Carrara gets the jackknife, but Sakura breaks it up. And then Hanako gets the Argentine backbreaker into the mat, the move that was handed down to her, the JP coaster to Kurara for the win.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
There was one point where Aya Sakura and Rani Abrami were in together, and both these girls, very, very accomplished martial artists. And like we've mentioned before, God's Eye seems to be kind of made up with like martial artists or mixed martial artists, minus Saki. She's got that sneaky style or whatever
And
it is that
Hina,
she does.
and Hina, Lady
Hina
C.
does judo.
Okay, Lady C.
Um,
She's
I might have to get back to you on that one. She
I
doesn't show
feel
it.
like she's more just because she's so big, so she gets the pass because she's power. So she kind of gets that pass because she gets the over. She has the overpower. She doesn't need the technique fighting because she's more powerful.
Sure.
Yeah.
Back to the back to this match. Um, I really like the point where they were in there almost like sparring. So they weren't even really having a wrestling match. They were almost having like a
Mhm.
martial arts sparring contest, which I thought was really, really fun. I'm actually interested in what happened after the match with Aya Sakura. Not particularly happy with her usual teammate, Sayaka Kurara. And kind of showing her some disrespect, shoving her around, slapping her a little bit. Rana not having it from Hanako as well. Those two
Mhm.
almost like coming to blows at certain points. And Hanako not backing down, but Yagami also the smaller wrestler in that situation, much, much smaller. I would say actually the smallest one of all of these girls, not backing down from the biggest in Hanako.
Mhm.
I'm interested to see where that goes because we did see the kind of feud with Yuzuki before her departure to Marigold with Hanako as well. It seems these what did Tom call it? These new blood girls, they kind of have some lingering tensions that they kind of need to deal with, similar to like some of the New Japan guys, like maybe Yoda and Shota Umino.
Mhm. Yeah, again, it's they're just trying to step up, and I like the and again, everybody in this match has only been around for about 2 years or so because Hanako only joined in a couple of years ago at this point. So again,
Mhm.
it's nice to see these them flowing this way and everybody looking so good. But yeah, I like the tension that was created coming out of this, especially
Mhm.
in the middle of the tournament of the Goddess of Stardom tournament too. So
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Rara's tagging with Tam Nakano, right?
Kurara and Tam and Yuna and Sakura.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting pairings.
Yeah. So we move on to the main card and we kick it off with Cosmic Angels, Sayori Anu, and Tam Nakano, 2/3 of the Artists of Stardom champions, taking on God's Eyes, Suri, and Tomoaka, and Naba, or Inaba, as Walker kept calling her. And I was getting annoyed. I'm like, and Carlton and Fame both said Inaba. And Xena said
Do do
Inaba.
you see? Do you see how it is now? Do you understand now?
Dia. Dia.
We'll laugh over there. Yeah, you get it. You understand now.
Yeah, Dia. My first note was a bit odd that the Stardom's world champion is in the main card opening tag and not even in a crossover match. She's just in a straight up Stardom tag match. She's not in one of these multi persons, which is
That being said, Andre, let me ask you a question. Given what we got for the mixed matches on the main card, do you think Tam would have survived?
no. That's I'm happy with like we got four mixed tag matches,
Yeah.
uh, varying in size. And I no, I don't. I think the choices that they chose to put who in the matches was absolutely perfect.
Mhm.
I'm just,
Mhm.
it's just, I'm like, world champion is not in one of your five feature matches on this show. Okay, smart business.
You know what? I'll give you it. It is sus. It is
Yeah.
sus because and not even is she just the world champion. She's a double champion in this company, like her partner Natsupoi.
Hmm.
So it is a little head scratchy that the person who's supposed to be your most valuable person is in just the opener. But given the show and the rest of the matches that we had, I feel it was the right place for her
Oh yeah.
because yeah, because just because she doesn't have a whole lot going for story-wise right now. She's got her little feud kind of going with Hate, but everybody's got something going on with Hate.
Hmm.
Hate was involved
Uh,
in other. Yeah, like everybody and their dog has a problem with hate. Um, but the hate was busy elsewhere. I feel that this was appropriate. It had the right amount of like luster on it, had the right amount of gusto on it. Let's talk about it, Andre. Take us into it.
Yeah, Xena talking about the hard kicks of God's Eye and how they're all martial artists, and then she says she needs some popcorn because she's enjoying watching this as Suri is kicking the shit out of Tam Nakano. Xena just is enjoying it. I'm like, ooh, darkness there. Um,
I mean, can we say we don't relate though? We
no,
love Tam Nakano. We both love her as a wrestler, as a character. You know, her talent and her ability to do what it is that she does is unmatched. But we have been very vocal the last couple of months since she won that World of Stardom Championship. She is the undeserving champion. Maybe we're not the only ones who feel that way.
yeah. Some cool little spots here in this match. Anu gets Suri with that Muda lock, leg lock, and then she
Mhm,
suplexes Inaba while going back stretching the legs. I like that little one there.
mhm.
Anu and Suri later in the match are trading Germans, and Suri hits his beautiful bicycle knee. Like instead of like the bicycle kick, she ends up hitting a knee instead. It looked really good. Inaba with the Muay Thai knees to Tam, just smoking her knees to Tam's face as she's got her like captured behind the head, just bang, 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 and then it hits that like spinning sweep, like sweeping out the
Yeah.
legs and follows with that just vicious looking PK for two. Um, Cosmic Angels hit like double teaming Inaba at one point. Nano hits this flying kick out of the air, and Tam falls up with this backdrop suplex for two. There's a cool little like spot where Suri does the flapjack up and drop brings I think it was Tam down to Inaba, kneeing her in the face. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, so good. And
Yeah.
then Inaba follows with the first Michinoku driver on this show.
Mhm.
The end of this comes. Tam hits a spin kick, and then the violet shooting knee to Inaba for two. Cosmic Angels hit that double axe kick, and Tam follows with the violet screwdriver for the win.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
In this match, I think this was the right finish, being that is your world champion. You do want her to pick up the win on the big show.
Absolutely, yeah. As soon as I kind of saw the combination, I mean, it's just like New Japan. You can tell kind of based in the combination of people who's going to be taking the pin, unless it's going to be a surprise pin,
Mm,
which, kind of happens once in a while, right? But yeah, as soon as I saw this, I was like, yeah, there is no doubt that to me that Inaba was going to be taking the pin in this, which was unfortunate because the crowd really popped for Shuri. Like they were very excited to see her.
mm-hmm,
Um, Anu, I gotta like remember when she first started and we like hated her because she was like the Sonata of Stardom and just like a personality charisma vacuum.
mm-hmm,
And now she's like just started doing these subtle things in the ring that have completely turned around her character for us, and now we love her.
mm-hmm,
That she was doing all of that work in this match. I absolutely loved it. And how tall and lanky she is looks really good against the like kind of I don't want to say like showy kind of karate that Inaba does, because like it takes an incredible amount of talent and strength to do what it is that Inaba does, but she does do a lot of like flashier kind of karate style moves.
mm-hmm.
And because of Anu's length and just height and everything, the way she sells for it, it looks so good. So good in comparison to like just a regular kind of comparable sized individual. Yeah, nice fun little opener. Gets the crowd kind of started because it was a heavy hitting opener with the strikers in God's Eye. Kind of set people up for the tone of what happened on the rest of the show. By God,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. So we move on. Second match of the show. It is a six-person tag match. It is Neo Genesis Azumi, Mei Seira, and Miyu Amasaki take the future Stardom champion Amasaki and the high speed champion Mei Seira taking on Hates Konami, the Pink Devil Rina, and the Violent Freezer herself, Ruaka. And it said Violent Freezer on there, so I'm like, okay, it is officially Violent Freezer. Awesome sauce.
Yeah, yeah. I saw it during one of the Goddess of Stardom
Mm.
tournament matches that I watched. I actually first noticed it when it was, I think it was BMI 2000 versus Hanako and Maika was when I first noticed it. I was like, is that
Mm.
actually her name? I love the little banter and commentary about it too. Because Xena especially was just like, yeah, she is like a freezer, yeah. Yeah. Ruaka has always been that powerhouse to match Natsukatora in Oedo Tai and now in Hate. And this was the first of a few times that we heard Hate's theme song tonight, and I was here for it. I love that music. Need to have it. Please release it, Stardom.
Mm. So I hate jump Neo Genesis at the beginning and good back and forth early. Mei Mei and Ruaka going high speed with each other, and Ruaka finishing it with a big old lariat, just crushing Mei Mei. It was a great triple team by Hate, and Ruaka hits a fisherman suplex into the double knees off the second rope by Rina to Azumi for two. Beautiful assisted tornado DDT by Miyu to Rina, and then Azumi hits the drop kick off the top to Rina for two. Towards the end of this match, Ruaka hits Azumi with the case, and Rina gets the jackknife pin, but the pin does get broken up. The end of this match is Rina hits a leg lariat, but Azumi reverses the hold, and they trade suplexes. Neo Genesis triple team and then hit the triple team Arena, hit the triple corner kick to her. Miyu hits a sit out pedigree into the Azumi, hitting the coup de grace off the top for the win.
This was fun.
It
This was
was.
so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good because even in the loss, Hate didn't lose any momentum. They still looked dominant. Dominant as fuck. Azumi and Rina. That was a singles match that I didn't know I needed, and now I need. Holy heckin' crap. Those two in the ring together is money, money, money. So good, so quick. I love how we have watched Rena just get better and better and better and better each time we see her. She is very much so going to be the future of Stardom. Um, here, I thought I had written down. There was the assist that Azumi provided for Miyu on the DDT where she like caught her by the foot and yeeted her into the DDT, tornado DDT on Rena. That was
Mm-hmm.
really fun. And then there was also there was I don't remember what move. I think they were just rolling each other up. But Miyu, I think Azumi tried who was it? Azumi tried to roll up Rina. Konami came in and just freaking walloped her in the chest,
Mm-hmm.
rolled her over. Rina ended up in the pin. I
Mm-hmm.
love how both these teams work together so well. There was such great tag team wrestling happening in this match where each person kind of came in to kind of assist with something at some point or another. It was really, really fun. I love this. This was a lot of fun. Even though my hate team lost, it was a great showcase for Neo Genesis and for Azumi and the two other champions.
Yeah. Again, I love this match, and again, it's because just I'm really gotten behind the viciousness of Fate, and I think Neo Genesis is just such a fun team together. It all just flows so well.
I wish House of Torture was at least backstage at this show, or at least watching this show to take some notes. This is how you shenaniganize properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Just,
it really,
just
it
saying.
really is. We have another 6-person tag from the New Japan side of it all. We got a Bolton Oleg, Tiger Mask, and Toriano taking on the United Empire's Callum Newman, Francesco Akira, and Jeff Cobb. Cobb, your new FPW Filipino Pro Wrestling Champion. We're showing that title off. And
Yay.
holy poop, did the start of this match just be awesome with Cobb and Bolton just smashing into each other. Cobb hits a jumping shoulder block to drop Bolton, but then Bolton, the trading strikes, Bolton hits his own shoulder block to drop Cobb. Bolton gets a slam. Just great. I just loved it so much. And then Tiger Mask coming in, and he's trying to slam Cobb, but can't.
Adorable.
Then Yano comes in, but can't, but ends up like sending Cobb into the corner, removes the other turnbuckle, and Cobb runs into the turnbuckle. Yano tries to slam him again, but Cobb slams him. Just great comedy in there. Just so good. Yeah, there's a spot with Newman and Bolton in there. A huge shoulder block by Bolton. He hits the slam, flying body sausage, followed by the move I called for when we were previewing this on Japanese Wrestling Update. I said I wanted to see Bolton do a Bolton shake on Callum Newman, and he did. He listened to me.
Did you say Callum Newman or did you say Akira? I thought you said Akira.
No, I wanted Newman. You said you wanted Akira. So I wanted to see him throw.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah, and he just tosses Newman across the ring. And then Newman just gets speed, hits the running boot, and hits a beautiful tornado kick, though. Follow that up. Oh, that's where I came up with the name of Chontai. Chontai instead of Chaos is Chontai. They triple team Akira.
No, that just sounds weird.
Yeah, Chontai. This all leads to Cobb getting Tiger Mask on his shoulders, and Newman hits a stomp off the top to the back of Tiger Mask into a Cobb Death Valley driver, which I was like, ooh, I like this little new move, and it won't be the last time because I watched their match from Wednesday night already. I watched their first match, Newman and Cobb, and they like to do they use this move. Yeah. The end of this match comes. Tiger Mask reverses Speed Fire from Akira into a pin for 2. Akira does hit a thrust kick and then the head kick for 2. Fireball, double knees to the back of the head by Akira to Tiger Mask, and he gets the victory.
Yes. Yes. I don't have a whole lot to add to this except for I take back what I said about the hesitation I had between Callum Newman and Cobb's combination. I had hesitations about this combination of Empire. Seeing this match, I was like, nope, never mind. We're good. They got this. They'll figure it out. They work very well together. We kind of you were mentioning that Callum Newman kind of feels a bit like a black sheep within United Empire, and it could it potentially impact his ability to work with Cobb? No, it isn't.
Nope.
Hey, you doing good? Doing great. Oh, the other thing I did want to mention is that I do love how Akira has gone from shit talking in English, shit talking in Italian, and also now shit talking in Japanese. I love it. Amore. So funny.
Yeah, we move on. 8-person mixed tag team match. We're into the crossovers, ladies and gentlemen. It's El Presidente Hiroshi Tanahashi and Ryusuke Taguchi teaming up with stars the Young Lioness Hanan and Saya Ida, taking on the Bullet Club War Dogs, Mad Drillas, Drill Maloney, and Gabe Kidd, teaming up with Hates, Natsuko Tora, and the Phoenix Queen, Saya Kamatani, and they are Hate Club.
Oh my god, I just realized what Team Tana's team name is. Team High Fly Funky Petting Zoo.
Oh, because Lioness and the Gorilla, along with the funky. Okay.
Yeah. Holy shit, was this? And
No.
I had the most
Oh,
notes for this match.
Funky Ace Petting Zoo. The Funky Ace Petting Zoo.
Sure, there you go.
I'm just trying to.
Sure.
Ida and Hanan coming out with fencing swords.
They've used those before.
Okay, I know. I'm like, I thought I've seen them before, but I couldn't remember. But I did love that though.
It's
Um,
adorable. When
so
they were
again,
New Blood champs, they came out with those.
good stuff early on. Ida in there with Drilla at one point. She just starts chopping the shit out of him, and he just drops her with one just brutal looking chop. It was crazy.
Yeah.
They all start fighting on the floor. Kamatan the tossing Gooch into the chairs in the crowd, and then she just smacks the 11 shit, just papering him with slaps. It was just so good.
Well, yeah,
Um,
because what you didn't mention beforehand was before we got into the match, Kamatani and Taguchi kind of like, having a little flirty. Taguchi's kind of like, failing the Phoenix Queen. Yeah, I get it. And also, there was what I was hoping and praying for set up in this one where Tora immediately in the face of El Presidente and just flipping him off. Fuck you. Let me in. I want to fight you. It was crazy. This match was freaking mental. This one was like so good, but like almost borderline uncomfortable for me at points.
yeah, like there is a spot Tana ends up like dragging, screwing Natsuko Tori in the ropes. You're like, oh, dude.
After
Um,
distracting the ref, that was an intentional heel move, Tana.
yeah, but he's just fighting fire with fire. Ida gets so like it's just some crazy stuff. Tana dragon screws Drilla, tags in Hanan, who comes running at him with a running cross body. He just catches her and then just lifts her up and brings her down into a backbreaker over
Oh
the
God,
knee.
yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
I was like, think of the children. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
Hanan, the children. Well, I guess she's 20 now, so she's not a
She's
child
20
anymore.
now.
She's
Yeah, it was brutal. It was
she's
brutal.
still a little girl. Um, dude, it just so much good stuff in this match. Everybody just
Yeah.
attacking each other. It just crazy. Towards at the end of this match, springboard funky weapon by Gooch to Kid. He gets an ankle lock. Kid gets out, hits a slam and lariat. He pulls down the knee pad, ends up slapping El Presidente at one point. He drags Hanan and Ida attacks and Drilla. It just crazy shit is going on. Everybody's fighting. Tana stops the Drilla killer and pile driver combo by Drilla and Kid to Hanan and Ida. Hits the sling blade to Drilla. Gooch rolling up Kid a couple times. Tsuka Tora stops the bum IA, and Gooch like goes and puts his hands in his pants for some weird ass reason. Like
I don't know what he was doing.
Tora then gets a headbutt to El Presidente as he's entering the ring, and then Kamatani comes from behind and low blows the Taguchi, and Kid picks him up, pile driver to Gooch for the win. This match was complete humanity. I'm just gonna talk the post match here. Tora's like got Taguchi on the outside, like just stretching him on the guardrail after the match, hits him with the
Mm,
mist. Um, Kid just like starts beating up El Presidente on the floor. Drilla attacks him,
mhm.
and like the Lions start getting involved. This is where Drilla just tossing Shomakato across the outside. It was nuts. And then Tora making comments that she wants a match. She wants to face Tanahashi. I'm down with that.
Well, yes. Give it to me. Give that match to me. Fuck yes. Oh my
Dream
God.
Queendom. Dream Queendom. Let's go.
I don't care when. It needs to happen because goddamn. Oh my God. Um, okay, let's see here. What do I? Okay, I love that Hate came out separately. We got the second playing of the Hate music coming out, and then the dogs came out.
Mm.
I like that um it wasn't unnecessarily lengthened by playing Hanan and Ida's music, that they came out with Tanahashi and Taguchi.
Mm.
I liked that. Um, yeah. Again, as I mentioned, Tora immediately right in Tanahashi's face, Kamitani flirting with Taguchi. I get it though. Do what you need to do to survive. So that is what I think kind of led to her really like kind of pissing about with him and in the on the outside there, and then ultimately leads to that ball shot at the end there. Um, I really enjoyed Kamitani and Hanan's time in the ring together. I felt they did really, really well. Got to show off each other's moves really good. Um, what I thought was hilarious is when Hanan tags out to Taguchi. Taguchi comes in really thinking that he was going to get his hands on Kamitani, who tagged out to Drilla at that point, and he was super disappointed. And I'm like, dude, pick me, tag me in. Um, Yeah, I laughed at this point because I was like, "Ooh, I like that shirt." I realized that Drilla was wearing the Hate Bullet Club shirt, and I was like, "Ooh, Drilla wearing my next shirt," and then he ripped it off, and I was like, "Or not." Like, okay. I was torn on if I should be disappointed about that or not. Ida going ham with Drilla with the chops, yeah, as you mentioned, and then just Drilla just he stood there defiantly for a while, and then at one point he caved, and once she hit her last one, he was like, "Oh, okay, you're done." Whap. Just knocked her right down. Poor Ida. I mean, she did her absolute best though. And with Ida in this match, it almost seemed like she would get in there with Drella in particular, who would just beat the ever living shit out of her, and then Tora would kind of come in after and kind of pick up the remains. I tried I enjoyed the teamwork aspect of that anyway. I mean, smart wrestling when you think about it. Um yeah, everyone on the outside was a lot of fun. Um, Ida doing her best with Tora, the Dragon Screw by Tana on Tora. Um, Backbreaker you mentioned. There was that double cannonball that Tora did on Hanan and Ida, followed by the dive to the outside by Kamitani that looked really, really good.
Mm.
Um, see here. Backdrop by Hanan to Tora was really, really good. It was her little kind of like shining moment of, I might be able to come back from this. No,
Mm.
she was not. Yeah, Kid catching the funky weapon attempt by Taguchi was hilarious because of how high Taguchi had actually tried to jump on that, which is not a thing he usually does. Usually by this point in the match, he's usually pretty gassed. So you'd be lucky if you get like a Taguchi getting a funky weapon up to your chest. And Gabe Kidd actually caught him really good, and they made it look really, really good. Almost looked like he was going to yeet him into a German before Taguchi was able to wiggle out of there. Um, I then had the epiphany at that point where I was like, oh my God, what a missed opportunity. Taguchi should not have been in this match. He should have been in a mixed tag with Wakasukiyama.
Yeah, for the walk of weapons and the freaking
Team Funky
and the fucking
Weapon versus whoever. I don't care. But at that point, I was like, that was a missed opportunity. For shame. For
yeah,
shame.
I agree.
Um, So yeah, that ending, okay, where Kid actually shoved Tora, who ended up shoulder blocking Taguchi, which led to Tora turning around and misting Tanahashi, who
Oh,
sold
that
it
was
in
it.
the most Ric Flair way I've ever seen. Like he takes it to the face and he stands there bewildered for a solid 2 seconds before dropping his hands and just like timber tringing over. I was like, "What are you doing?" It was really funny though. It was a chaotic match, so I felt that the cell it matched the chaos. When Kamatani nutted Takuchi to set up for the pile driver from Kid, the camera work was so perfect. Where they actually like start wiggling the camera as Taguchi's like, oh my god, my balls. Like it was so good how it just everything flowed together. But man, was this a brutal match? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like I felt that Kamatani and Tora were just fine because them girls be like some of the strongest girls we know in Stardom. I felt Ida held up really, really good, but man, did those two girls get rickety wrecked in this match.
Mm-hmm.
It was great though.
Oh, I love this, and it just was almost a prelude to what we're getting later, um, with hate.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're a hate club. So we move on. NJPW KOPW hardcore KOPW Championship hardcore match. The Great Khan versus the Deathmatch Princess herself, Suzuki. Um, they showed Yuji Nagata on commentary for the Japanese team at this point. The commentary is weird because they had the Japanese commentary. They weren't right at ringside, so they had them off to the side, and they had Japanese commentary. They had English commentary behind Japanese commentary. It was a weird. And at one point when they're showing them, Walker's like leaning over and like waving in between the Japanese announcers, and it's really funny. I was
Did you see there
laughing.
was one point too where there was like a perfect view of Tom right in between them? And
Mm-hmm.
he was wearing, did you see what he was wearing? Oh, I loved it. I wanted it so badly. He was wearing a blazer, but it was clearly covered in purple, like royal purple sequins.
You might have
I
to reach out
wanted
to
it.
him. You might
I
have to reach
know.
out
Give
to
me
him.
your blazer, sir, please.
I will
I
wear it
must
on my
have.
show. I will wear it on
I
my show.
freaking I will wear it every day in my house. I don't care. That thing is gorgeous.
Yeah. So Susie comes out with a board covered in forks.
Uh,
So Susie wants to start all hardcore, wants a chair duel, but Khan tosses the chair away and he catches hers, tosses it away, and this is where he kind of gets into like striking with Mongolian chops, starts working holds, more
mm,
Mongolian chops. He does the sit on the head in the corner. Eventually, Susie dodges Khan. He ends up in the ropes, and she gets a chair and hits him in the bum. Then she sticks something in his mouth. I don't know what that was.
when she did the drive-by kick.
Yeah, what did she
Oh,
put in
it
his
was a
mouth?
fistful of plastic forks.
Okay, I didn't realize that. And then she hits the
The
drive-by
forks
kick
that
with him.
were in the table, she had a whole fistful of them, and she shoved them in his mouth before she did the drive-by kick.
Don't you put it in your mouth. Don't you
Don't
put
you
it
put
in.
it in your mouth, or let Suzu do it.
Don't put anything. I don't want anyone to put anything in my mouth. Um,
Especially Suzu. Oof.
so she gets a stable gun. She staples the question mark to her own face.
It was an
Uh, she,
Ocon promo pic.
yeah, it's the big old question mark, right?
Yet the question mark was on one side, but he had a picture on the other side, the
Oh, I
side that
did.
was stapled to her face because you couldn't see it because it was stapled to her face. But every once in a while, it would flip open. I believe it's autograph pictures that they sign
Hmm.
at the autograph sessions.
So she hits a stunner and a head kick. He stops the suplex. He misses the boot. She pulls the paper off her face and staples it repeatedly into the forehead of the Great Khan. Um,
Yeah.
she ends up like grabbing him and whipping him by his, or like tossing him by his braid into some chairs. She sets up the fork table where she gets some forks from the fork table and like stabs him in the head. She puts a trash can on him, hits him with a chair. She spits water at the rest of the UE boys that are out there. Um, she tries to do a suplex on the ramp, but she ends up getting hammerlock suplex on the stage by Khan. Um, Back inside, he gets a palm kick for 2. He gets a calf slicer at one point. And then it's the leg hold he was doing. And then he does the thing in this match that I hated the most. Gave her the old thumb bum.
Yeah. I don't know what I hated more, the fact that he did the thumb bum or what he did after.
Well, tell everybody what he did, Melball.
He definitely was acting like he liked it and smelling it, and I mean, he put it in his mouth.
Don't you put it in your mouth. Don't you put it in your mouth. So she is incensed by this and staple guns him in the dick and balls.
Multiple times. Girl,
She
go
gets
on with your bad self. I mean, if we could get away with that legally, I bet that could be a real great way to solve a lot of problems.
so there's a chairs end up getting piled in the ring. Tequila shot by Suzu onto the chairs. She gets a trash can from her teammates. Tries to German on it, but she can't. So she has to drop toe hold him into it and follows it up with a bridging German for 2. Then the fork board comes into play. She sets it up between 2 chairs. She sets up a ladder. Her and Connor on the ladder. Neo Genesis arranges holding the ladder, and Yui's like, "What do we do here?" Like the boys are like, "Do we get involved or just they're
You
like,
do what you're doing. You just stay there.
yeah?" So they don't do anything, and Neo Genesis aren't technically involved. They're just making sure the ladder doesn't fall over.
Yeah.
She tries to suplex him off the ladder and the fork table, but he won't go, and he ends up hitting an eliminator off the ladder to her through the fork table. And there's literally a fork sticking out her back.
Yeah. There sure was. There sure was.
He gets that sleeper into the back stretch thing and like carrying her over his back.
Hmm.
He
I
then
love
puts
that submission, though.
He then puts a ladder on the ground, then puts a trash can on it, tries another eliminator, but she fights it off. He ends up hitting a big strike, hits an eliminator onto the ladder, onto the can, onto the ladder, and then he gets the win. Great Khan retains the KOPW championship in a much tamer match than I expected with the Deathmatch
Yeah.
Princess.
Yeah, it's true. Considering we've seen her face some pretty crazy hardcore people, both male and female.
Mm-hmm.
It's she's faced Jun Kasai for crying out loud, which should tell you about how like brutal she can be, though. And this match, we saw that Suzu brutality that we haven't seen in a little bit. Like, since her departure from prominence, she's still Suzu Suzuki. She's still the murder granddaughter. But she's kind of been I wouldn't say held back, but maybe like a more reserved murder granddaughter. She's not been so crazy with her stuff. She's been having a lot of fun doing the claw and doing the poses with the girls and doing the Goddess of Stardom championship run. She still had her singles title shots in between there, but she's predominantly been, you know, a little bit more reserved. I think we started to see a little bit more of the vicious Suzu back in this one. But yeah, I agree. This was definitely a lot tamer than I was expecting it to be, especially because we know Okan can go and we know Suzu can go. So, yeah, but I'm not mad because I think if it got any more, I would have been really grossed out. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't
Me
have
too.
liked it one bit. I really liked this considering this was a hardcore match. Oh,
Well,
um,
really, there's no blood in this match, which made me happy.
well, there was a little bit on Suzu, but she did staple her face, so, like,
But that's
to
more
be expected.
incidental, but not
Yeah, it
nobody's
wasn't
crimson masking. That's the thing.
yeah, it wasn't a John Moxley match or a Swerve Strickland match, you know? It was good. It was tame, it was reasonable. There was blood. There was some crazy stuff going on, but, like, it wasn't super cray. Like it was, if you have a hardcore love, this was enough to sate you for the time being until you can get like a legit crazy hardcore show or something. This was good enough for you. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with the near falls on this for Suzu. There were a number of points where I thought Okan wasn't going to kick out. He pushed it so close. It was so good. I loved it. I wouldn't be mad to see them run it back again because I feel like Suzu's one of those people who could potentially dethrone him.
Mm-hmm.
And how cool would that be? How cool of a crossover would that be? How much credibility would that give Stardom?
Well, yeah, and again, remember they had like he. It looks like unless he has another defense in the next month and a half, and I don't unless he does something at the tag league show or on the road to Wrestle Kingdom, he will be the 2024 King of Pro Wrestling champion because he'll end the year with the title as of right now. So we have the Rambo on January 4th, the pre-show usually. Could we see a Suzuki enter the Rambo? Could we see some other Stardom people enter the Rambo? Because again, the Rambo will be on there, and I don't know if it's going to be at January 5th Wrestle Kingdom or Wrestle Dynasty or on January 6th at New Year Dash. But you still have the usually a 4-way match coming out of the Rambo to determine who will be the first 2025 provisional champion. Right.
Mhm.
So again, could we see Suzu get involved in there? I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind also seeing who we saw earlier get involved in that also, Natsuki.
That
Those
would
two
be
in
kind
there
of
would
cool.
be, yeah, coolio.
We
Mm.
move on.
Yeah.
Mixed tag match. It's Natsupoi and Taichi taking on Clark Connors and Thekla, the Hate Club. I gotta say this. I want to see Thekla run with this cast gimmick for a while. I love the Bob Orton Jr. Just keep rocking this cast, like even after it's healed, just keep wearing it. That man wore that cast his entire career. I'm down with that. And then the chain from titty to titty was funny. It's like, okay, I see what you're going. I see the look you're going for. I get you. I get you.
I was actually even more impressed that it held up the match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, whoever does their seamstressing, for how, like, if you've seen any of these girls wrestle, they do have, some of them have some pretty itty bitty outfits, and they're held together with straps. That these straps don't frackin' move. I have never personally seen a wardrobe malfunction or been close to seeing a wardrobe malfunction, except for Xena once. Um, that never seen anything close to coming out. These outfits are incredible. Seamstresses are just Mercedes, Monet. Talk to Thekla seamstress, please.
Yeah. Yeah, good early back and forth. Like they end up fighting to the floor. Hate Club takes over on the floor, sending Nat and Taichi into the chairs in the crowd. Uh, uh, Thekla using the cast to grind on Nat's face. And then they do a really good job every time Nat's going for the hot tag that Clark like takes out Taichi in some way. And they did that for a few minutes, and it actually really built to when Taichi eventually gets in and just goes
Mm-hmm.
nuts on Connors. He hits
Mm-hmm.
the Gamangiri in the corner, takes the pants off, misses the kick, but does end up getting a couple of head kicks in the Dragon Sleeper. But Thekla does break that up. Again, really good stuff, man, from all these members in here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Natsupoi in later in the match hits a drop kick in the ropes. She goes to the top, but goes up. Thekla, gets her up. Nat fights her up, but Thekla hits like just a cast to the face, and then Spider suplexes Nat off the top. Um, Thekla misses off the top, and Nat hits a headhunter for 2. Gets into the cross arm breaker, then to his armor, back into the cross arm breaker. But Thekla fights and fights against the ropes. Again, really good stuff here, man. Nat misses a splash off the top at one point, and Thekla hits the toxic gore, as I like to call it, the toxic gore, as they call it. They call it the toxic you call it the toxic spider gore. I'm just calling it toxic gore. You don't need the spider stuff in there. She didn't do the spider move for it, so if it would have been the spider
That's
move,
fair.
yeah,
That's
so it's
fair.
just a toxic gore. The end of this match, Nat rolling around with the Mario Shark Cradle. Connors takes out the ref. Connors and Thekla both attacking, beating up on Natsupoi. Thekla gets a curb stomp. Taichi stops the cast strike, but she ends up laying Taichi out with the strike from the cast. She holds Nat, but Taichi pushes Thekla in the way, and pushes Nat, gets Thekla in the way for Connor's gore. It was crazy. Connors and Taichi start fighting. He ends up standing over Nat after he takes him out, lifts her up, but she attacks him. He just smokes her with a hard shot. You're like, oh. She comes back, super kicking Connors on the gore attempt. It's more head kicks. Taichi comes in. Natsupoi and him hit dual super kicks. Nat comes off the top to Thekla, who has been taken out, with a Ferial splash for the win. I think this actually tells the right story in having this team win here, because it also has Thekla and Connors seething for more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna see Thekla and Hate target Poi and Cosmic Angels even more, as we see Tam is struggling with Kamitani. It's only a matter of time before those Artists of Stardom championships start to look real nice. Look like they'd be better on some hate waste, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I really liked how Connors and Thekla look like a freaking team with the matching gear, the same kind of logo, the Clark and Tex, I think it was, on the butt, with the red kind of shading on it. Really liked it because they looked unified. We knew that Poi and Taichi had kind of worked a little bit in the last crossover with Tam, and I think it was it Doki?
No,
Was
Despy. No, because
was
Despy teamed with.
Despi was Starlight Kid, wasn't it? No, they were
Didn't they
against
face?
each other.
Didn't they face
I
Despy and
don't
Starlight Kid?
I don't remember. I don't remember, but you know, Poi and Taichi didn't have the same connection. Just based they worked well together, but they didn't have the same connection that Thekla and Connors had that made their cohesiveness in the ring a little bit more evident. I loved the story of animosity, the continuing story of animosity between specifically Poi and Thekla, where they were just really going against each other. Poi not coming in like her picture, the smiley, happy fairy that she usually is, very serious, very, game face on, ready to go. She didn't really smile much at all before, during, or after the match, even with the win. Probably because she knows this isn't over. It really is just kind of the beginning for her because she pissed off the wrong girl. Um, yeah, this was a perfect follow-up for me to the match earlier with Hate and Bullet Club teaming together. I
Mm-hmm.
love the combination of the two teams. It just makes sense. We were saying for a long time that House of Torture was kind of the Oedo Tai affiliate. Now that Hate has kind of evolved into something, I think, a little better, it makes sense that they are now comparable to something better in the War Dogs. Yeah, I want that shirt so bad. The Torah Cora Eyes. Bullet Club shirt. Yeah, this was a fantastic match. This was, for me, the perfect way to do a mixed tag match because each person, like each combination of person, whether it was Thekla versus Taichi, whether it was Thekla versus Poi, whether it was Poi versus Connors, well, whether it was Taichi versus Connors, every combination of each person worked, made sense, and it looked fantastic. It was never a Taichi was just obnoxiously overpowering Thekla. It was her. She was getting beat, but she was also coming back and giving no fucks and getting in his face and showing that fire. So it was for me again the perfect kind of mixed tag play where they were able to showcase everybody's strengths without showing too much any weakness in there. Especially
Yeah.
as two very, very tiny women.
Yeah. So last match from 2022 was actually Meltier, Tam, and Natsupoi teaming up with Suzuki Gun's Taichi and Yoshinobu Kanemaru,
Kanemaru.
taking on Black Desire, Momo Watanabe, and Starlight Kid, and Suzuki Guns El Desperado and Doki.
See, I knew Doki was in there.
Or as I used to call him back then, the other way.
Right? You
Yeah.
know. You know now.
I came around. Your semi-main event of the evening for the IWGP Women's Championship. It is Mayu Iwatani taking on Momo Watanabe. And Momo Watanabe in white and gold. That was a choice that I didn't expect on this show.
Yeah.
I thought that
I was,
signified she was
yeah.
winning it. That's what I thought. Oh my gosh, you got new new gear
Yeah,
for this.
because they both kind of looked white in this.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way I could tell the difference, because even like Mayu's hair is still a little darker than Momo's.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way I could tell the difference from them between them at one point was the fact that Mayu had a tail.
Oh, I'm gonna say different body types, but okay.
Well, when
Um,
they're moving pretty fast though, when they're not, I don't pay attention to that. All I could see was white butt just kind of going across my thing, but one of them had a pink tail that was about 4 inches long.
yeah, again, really good match. A lot of kicking from Momo starting early on, just kicking the crap out of her, sending her in the chairs on the outside, just beating her up. Um, Momo gets hit by the case on the outside at one point by accident, or did she, or was it one of the members of Stars that hit her with it? I think.
I think it was one of her teammates trying to hit Mayu. Mayu got out of the way and it was an accidental bonking.
Okay. And she
Mhm.
gets the suicide dive. Maya gets suicide dive to everybody on the floor.
Mm.
She gets a dragon screw in the ropes, drop kick in the ropes. So Momo gets back in control. She hits a drop kick, a corner drop kick, and then falls up with a hesitation drop kick in the corner. And just unrelenting with the kicks in the corner. Momo comes back with two suplexes, or Momo hits two suplexes, hangs Maya on the ropes, hits this like spin kick to the head. I'm like, oh! Momo then hits the dude buster on the apron. Mayu comes back with a dragon suplex on the apron. Both women fall to the floor. They both get in at 17. Just great spot there, man. Just so good. Mayu hits a knee in the corner, hits a drop kick off the top. She goes back to the top, hits the high fly flow for two. That's what they called it. Was a high fly flow. Again, Mayu missing a moonsault off the top at one point. Momo gets caught with a tombstone though, and Mayu goes back up for the moonsault, but the ref gets dragged out after he hits it by Hey. They attack him. Momo hits a super kick. She gets the bat, but she throws it away. Starts kicking Mayu. Mayu gets her own super kick. He goes to the top and gets her legs kicked out up top, and she ends up in a tree of woe. She gets kicked hard. The half and half suplex by Momo and the head kick only gets 2. Peach Sunrise only gets 2. And then again, she goes for it again, but again, only it's just crazy stuff here. Momo dodges in the corner, hits a German. Mayu goes up, hits that poison run off the top, hits a head kick, only gets 2. Peach Sunrise, but Peach Sunrise into it like almost like a JML driver. The move from sort of Strickland, like Peach Sunrise into a JML driver, looked crazy. And this is where I thought it was over. I thought that was it. I thought like, oh my god, new champion. But Mayu kicks out of that 2.999, just that last possible millisecond. She ends up dodging a kick, gets her up, 2-step cradle dragon suplex, and Mayu Iwatani retains the championship. Man, that was good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Yep.
was so good. This was so good. Um, it was exactly what I expected with Mayu Iwatani, and that just blatant disregard for her own personal health and safety. She was eating herself off of everything. She was eating Momo off of everything. It was Mayu. It was a perfect showing from Mayu, exactly what you expect out of her and her championship reign. Momo though, there was a lot of near falls for Momo where Mayu really again who did I mention earlier did it? Okan with Suzu. There were just some calls that were just really close, which ended up playing so much so into the emotion of the match because the crowd was just so on fire for this show that they were just gasping and oohing and awing at absolutely everything. It was phenomenal. And to
Mm-hmm.
see just to note, to see some of the faces of some of these women, some of them, this is probably the biggest venue and crowd they've ever worked. And seeing them come out and their eyes just could be like, holy shit. Kind of looking around like, whoa. Like it's really freaking cool. I mean, Mayu, I think, still gets it, but we saw it a lot in Momo in the
Mm-hmm.
entrance on this one, where she was just like a little overwhelmed, I think, with it. But yeah, um, it was such a great match for Mayu, and like for me, I've enjoyed her last few title match defenses, but they were just kinda like they weren't match of the year matches for me. They were good, but, like, this was the one that I was like, "This is the closest contender for me for her defenses this year in
Mm-hmm.
regards to quality," and it had a lot to do with just how well her and Momo work together. So good.
The best part about this match is I just this enters into my top matches of the year for Stardom slash IWGP Women's Championship matches.
Mm,
We put that in as a point for our in our New Japan category.
sure.
We do have best women's match.
Mhm.
Um, so this can be considered under Stardom awards and under New Japan's awards because it's on a crossover show. So it's interesting on where I might slot this if it does win my match of the year. But we get speeches from both ladies after the match. I didn't get translations or anything. Because what really matters is Azumi makes her way out after Momo leaves. And she makes a challenge. Not for Dream Queendom. Not for the January 3rd show. She challenges the Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah, baby. We're getting the IWGP Championship returning to Wrestle Kingdom, baby. Let's go.
I'm excited for this.
Mm-hmm.
I am excited for this because we know both these girls go. Holy crap, do both these girls go together? We've seen them in matches before in the past. Oof. With the IWGP title on the line. Could be great. Especially at Wrestle Kingdom. Oof.
And I really could see this being the where Maya drops his belt. because it's the big stage. Azumi has had this quest to these past few months, this quest to get this match. So I could really
It's true.
see it being the point where you crown Azumi the new IWGP champion. Because again, she's been traveling to the United States and other places, so she's been traveling as part of this exchange over the United States. So I could see
Mhm.
her being the champion and going places with it.
Oh, absolutely, I could as well.
Mhm.
100%. She'd be a great person to spread the word of Stardom Wrestling around the world,
Yes, spread
just
the
like
word of
Mina Shirakawa.
yes. Main event of the evening. It is El Desperado and Starlight Kid versus the G1 and 5-star winners, Maika and IWGP World Champion Zack Sabre Jr. I love
Mhm.
Despy and Starlight Kid's masks. Like you had half and half masks on. One side is a blue and pink Desperado mask, and the
Mhm.
other side is a black and red Starlight Kid mask. So each person took the other person's colors and made a
Mhm.
mask out of it, of the other person's colors, and mashed them together. I loved that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I did as well. I did as well. And there was also a Starlight Kid I mentioned to you had different contacts in. Despy just had his regular kind of white ones in, but Starlight Kid had the one blue and the one red. It was really cool.
that is pretty cool. Again, good wrestling early on. Like Saber and Despy rolling and trying to get each other in holds. Maika coming in with Starlight Kid using power. She ends up knocking Desperado off the apron, and you're going back and forth to Starlight Kid. Um, so we get a double team from Desperado and Starlight Kid on Zack Sabre Jr. and get a double stretch muffler.
Yes. And it looked a little silly when it first started to go on. I was like, what are we doing here? Where are we going with this? But then when I saw him start selling it, I'm like, oh, that's fun. That's a fun little spot there.
Yeah, there's a spot where Desperado rolls through a backslide attempt by Saber and gets a pinche
Mhm,
loco in like under 10 minutes here.
mhm,
And I'm like, what? And like Micah breaks the pin up. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, that can't happen. And like commentaries talking like this could be like when the Saber and Desperado are in there, this could be the anniversary show match if Saber retains and Desperado wins the title. Just crazy stuff here. There's so much transitioning back and forth here. I
mhm,
love the submission game of both Desperado and Saber here, kind of dueling in this match.
mhm,
Um, again, great, and again, Micah and Starlight Kid going back and forth in here. Just some crazy stuff throughout. There's points in here I don't understand my notes, so that's why it's hard to read them because I don't understand half of them. I'm just gonna jump like towards the end here. Starlight Kid drops Micah with a slam, hits a moonsault, beautiful moonsault off the top. Micah gets Starlight Kid up top, but Starlight Kid fighting the suplex, but Micah hits the delayed suplex into three more suplexes in the ring. But she only gets a 2 count. Desperado stops a lariat and the double team, but Saber comes in and they start the double team on Micah, but Saber comes to make the save, but Team Mask gets the dual stretch mufflers on Saber and Micah, but Saber ends up like fighting his way out, sending Desperado into Starlight Kid. Micah gets Desperado in the corner for the Saber uppercut as Starlight Kid takes out Micah. So the kid starts unloading strikes on Saber. Saber like stops the around the world DDT. Ends up taking out Desperado. Micah comes in with a discus lariat to both Starlight Kid and Desperado. Zach and Micah hit the Zach driver and the Michinoku driver to Desperado and Starlight Kid. Then Micah follows up with another Michinoku driver on Starlight Kid for the win.
This was fun.
Mm-hmm.
This was fun. This is another one that was just the tag team pairing and just mixing of everyone was perfect. Because unlike the savagery and just striking power chaos of the earlier matches. This was four wrestlers who are so well educated and just so smart and wrestle so smart that it was such a different style of match that was so enjoyable. I loved when I can't remember what it was that Zach had on Desperado. Maybe it was an armbar or some kind, but like he was facing upwards, and Starlight Kid came in to try to break up whatever it was he was and started kicking him, kicking him, kicking him. Zach just starts beaking at her in Japanese. I don't know what it was that he said. She ends up hitting him with a drop kick to break up the submission. I love how it worked. There was that tag team camaraderie. The two teams just worked so effortlessly well together. Starlight Kid and Desperado, they work well together. They know each other from before. But then Micah and Zach, they just had this like natural friendship that just helped them work so well together. It ended up being a perfect combination of teams. And what a fantastic way to end the show with the four most dominant people in their own rights in their own divisions, Micah being more of a heavyweight from Stardom and Starlight Kid being more of the kind of high speed star, and Desperado being more the junior star of New Japan, and Zack Sabre Jr. obviously being the heavyweight star of New Japan. What fun.
Mhm. I loved it. I feel like
Mhm.
this team floats so nicely together.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Yeah, but we have come to the end of another episode of Stardom and NJPW Puroresu review. I want to thank y'all for joining us here. Really do appreciate all you joining us here. You can find me on the X and Blue Sky at that Canada guy. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at that Canada dude. You can find me on Facebook at our page, Andre Melball Wrestling Talk. And you can find me right here on the YouTube page, youtube.com at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk. You can also find us over at A Plus Productions on Facebook. Join us in the conversation over there. And if you want to hear us in audio form, aplusproductions.com. Hit the A Plus Wrestling feed. You can also find me on twitch.tv/ our local establishment and youtube.com/at our local establishment. You can find me next week. We're returning to Marvel Talk on the MCU Rebound as we talk Black Widow. We're breaking the order because we're putting the Black Widow movie where it should be, where it sits in the timeline and when it should have been produced. So we're doing that. We're talking that movie. So come check us out doing that. A 10 p.m. Eastern time. MCU Rebound, me and Ed, and Ed says we have a guest. I just don't know who it is. So we have a guest too. So come hang out with all of us. And then a shout out to our boy Mike the Ref, youtube.com/at backbreaker video, where he simulcasts all of our stuff. And you can see him doing all those live AW watch alongs and his gaming content, twitch.tv/ Mike the Ref. And replays of all that great gaming content, youtube.com/at backbreaker_gaming. Melball, where can they find you?
If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can find her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can find her on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You could also find me on our local establishment's programming, Japanese Wrestling Update with this guy, every Friday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, unless it's not. And then we'll let you know on social media. This Friday is going to be a pre recorded episode, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, because we will be attending the Canadian Wrestling Elite Show at the Norwood Legion. So if you're in the Edmonton area, make sure you get some tickets. Come on down and enjoy a fun show with the Horde. We are the Horde. You can also catch me on our local establishment's programming, Women's Classic Wrestling, with T. Collins, no relation, and Astrid Sorrow, where we are currently watching, I believe it is the 2017 Mae Young Classic tournament. We are now going to be starting the second episode, so you can catch that Monday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. What else? if you're wanting to watch any of the wrestling that we talked about today. Oh, wait, Astrid. Oh my God. She's gonna kill me. You can also catch me on Astrid Bizarre's YouTube channel where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. I love you, Astrid. We have to get an episode out soon. Astrid has just been very, very busy with work related things. Happens going into the winter season when you get a new promotion. But we will let you know on our socials when a new episode is coming out there. If you're wanting to watch any wrestling that we talked about today, whether Stardom Wrestling or New Japan, we will leave links in the description box down below. It is stardom-world.com and njpwworld.com. Stardom-world is approximately $9.99 or 10 Canadian. Shout out Sean Spears. And New Japan World, the NJPW World, is approximately 10 US, which is like 10 and a half Sean Spears, which is, hey, that's even better than one. Still great prices to watch some amazing professional wrestling. You can't watch the show that we talked about today because it is considered a pay-per-view, so it is going to be an extra cost. However, if you are wanting to see any of the New Japan matches, that before getting a membership, you can watch any of the New Japan World TV title matches absolutely free on their website. So you can see Zack Sabre Jr., I was going to say Zach Cobb.
It'd be a great tag team.
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Jeff Cobb, Matt Riddle was in there. Lots of fun stuff. So go ahead and check it out and then take the plunge. Andre, I just a friend and colleague. You didn't show me Sean Spears today.
I did.
If anything else,
I did. You just didn't pay attention.
did you like flash him for a second? He's usually like right here.
He was up for a couple seconds. You just kept talking, so I was like, "Oh, she's not reacting. What the hell?"
I do that, don't I? Oh man, my trusted friend and colleague. Do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people? How?
I just want to say thank you all for joining us here. If you're listening on A Plus Productions, thank you so very much. And if you want to hear us in audio form, aplusproductions.com. Check us out. Hit the A Plus Wrestling feed, add to your podcast catcher of choice. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so very much for tuning in, whether it's Andre Melball's talk or backbreaker video. Thank you so very much. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Don't forget to share us out to your friends, family, and just kooky little monsters that exist in this world. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Rawr.
Rawr. And that being said, I am your Melball. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.